How's it going? I didn't do the theme song. Let's start that over. Hold on. Oh, hey, you know what? I am the producer as well as the host and the gag writer and all the things. It's all on me. So I missed the intro, but I played it. You got to see the intro. Ta-da! It's been a hectic couple days. Yeah, yeah. Not a lot of fun things happening right now in the shop, but anyway, we're here. And if you're new to tonight's thing, what we're doing here is a live stream from my garage, and we talk about classic cars and stuff going right, stuff going wrong, and what we can do about it. And if you have a question, great. If you don't, I hope you have an answer to somebody else's question. What I like to do, if somebody answers a question, I give them a bell. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's you, sometimes it's somebody else, and occasionally I'll throw in an extra bell for when the first Dave shows up. Because Dave is kind of the running theme with our live streams, how many Daves we can get on here. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. It's been a hectic kind of couple days, like I said, trying to redo stuff that I shouldn't be doing, but I have to. There's no way around it, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But let me tell you, or see who's here. And right off the bat, we have Rick. So you know what? We have. I'll say that's Rick. You get the first bell because you're the first one here. So there you go. That's how easy it is. And we have Clark. Konnichiwa. Yes. Fast and Furious is checking in. BK Woods. Crash Rider, greetings from Southern Indiana, hitting the shower and return once I'm clean. Okay, well, we'll just have to take your word for it. We'll just take your word for it. Troy Justit is checking in. Phil, I am so. Hey, gang, checking in from Northern California, watching my favorite YouTube channel and waiting for the glue to dry on my new workbench. I'll give you a bell for that, but I'm hoping this is more exciting than watching the glue dry. I'm hoping. Mr. Cyrano, a salute to the Busted Knuckles. Yes. Glad you're here. Well, let's see. Jerry, the Money Pit, checking in from Middle Tennessee. Bob Knoll, good evening. How is everyone doing? Ish is checking in. Bob Shoemaker, good evening from rainy Oklahoma. Harvey, Rallycat Garage, checking in from New Jersey. Nandu, good evening, Barry and everyone. Hope all had a good weekend. Rick Stevenson, good evening, everyone. And Troy Justit, Joe Daddy's production company. Yeah. You get what you pay for. Jerry says, there you are. I guess the man. Okay. Willie Goodman, howdy from Oklahoma. Austin Baxter checking in. Jerry, konnichiwa is good evening. Okay. I believe you. And Ed Cucciarella, I'm guessing it's Cucciarella. Good evening from SoCal. And Richard Byrne is checking in. Glad you're here. Ugh. It's so frustrating. I talked about it on Thursday. I'm going to have to, like I said, you've probably seen a video. You already know by now. I'm going to be repainting Jade. And I really hate to do that. I really do. However, I also know that I could not let it go. And I know it would just drive me absolutely crazy if I had issues and, was doing something else with the car and discovered that it was, bad later on. I would rather discover it now, even though I did all the sanding and buffing and polishing and it looked amazing. I would still rather discover it. Well, I would have rather discovered it prior to that, honestly, but I'd rather discover it at this point in the process. Had I put in the headliner and started putting glass in and the dash, and then I realized, oh no, this is really bad and I can't live with this. So I've been working on knocking down the beautiful finish on Jade. I've used 800 or P800 on the DA and knocking it down. Everything is almost ready. I have the deck lid, the hood, the fenders, the passenger side, the whole roof, sail panel, all that is done, and deck filler. I still have to do the driver's door and the quarter panel. And then I'll probably reshoot the valance panels. It just makes sense if I'm doing it, do it all. Just make sure it's right. Because again, once I paint this and I put a panel up and I go, this doesn't match, now what? Now I'm backpedaling again. Just be honest with myself and get it all the way it should be. And I know I'll be happier. And also, as I may have pointed out, I don't know. There were some flaws that I could live with. It's one thing to shoot for perfection, but it's also, you have to be realistic. And what I noticed, and I had March Indy was over here, and he was helping me assess it and look at it. And one thing I pointed out to him, he didn't really see it until I pointed out, but for some reason on the passenger side door, there were like vertical lines going down the door. From what, I don't know. But you could see, to catch the light right, you could see these like vertical, almost like depressions in the clear coat. So I was like, man, I don't know why that's there. There was one in the back of the quarter where I had done a repair previously, and I could see a witness of where that was. And, this is an opportunity to fix stuff like that. So I took a paint stick, 800 wet sandpaper, and I went over those areas, and I, knocked down the clear coat to try to blend in those, to hide the low spots, let's say, and also blend where that repair was done. So far, it's looking like everything's coming out the way it should. There's still some things that I have to address, and I have to be very careful around edges and stuff like that. So I'll end up using probably some gray Scotch-Brite, on all the edges where it's going to have, I don't want to be digging in with the sander. So anyway, that's what I've been working on. Michael, howdy from Buffalo, New York. Glad you're here. Jack W is checking in from New Jersey. Jessica, yeah, I feel bad. I feel your bad week. Someone smashed my Roadmaster's driver's window. Why? What's the point of that? What is the point of that? Rick had to do work on a Toyota Prius and a Chevy 2500 recently. I miss having a Mustang in my garage. Yep. Austin, so we're painting Jade. Your video said that the clear coat acts as a sealer. Do you need to prep the clear coat at all before spraying? Okay. Oh yeah, and you said never mind, just answer. Yes. Yeah, I would go over the whole thing. Smooth it up, take care of any flaws, and make it good. Jerry, as you know, I will be repainting my 66. I'm not looking forward to the repaint. Yeah. Well, I've told everybody before, I like to be one and done. Get it done, make it right. Walk away. Not happening. Okay. Chris Greenaway is checking in. Glad you're here. Rick Gain, by any means, I'm not saying that I don't believe you, just that I really sucks that you have to paint the whole entire car to get the door to match. Yeah. Well, the thing is, here's the stress point with that. If the car was black, right? I could repaint the door by itself. I could repaint the fender by itself. I could do any repairs on that as long as I go to an edge, then it would be fine. The problem is this color, while amazing, to look at, it also has effects that if you, let's say, layer material, it could change how it looks versus the rest of the car. So yeah, I could maybe have gone from the body line down and just blended that door and tried to blend it and make it look right. My concern was if it made it look, it could make it look worse. Honestly, it could make it look really dark all over right there because it's not the same. And, I don't want to, and I just don't want to take the chance. I just don't want to take the chance. And in hindsight, I mentioned that I painted the hood and the deck lid off the car before. Now I'm sweating it, or I started sweating it, thinking, is the hood and deck lid going to match? So this may be a compound problem. If I had, let's say I fixed the door, right, and it looked good or good enough, and then I finished the process and I put the hood on and I put the deck lid on, and suddenly they're not right. Knowing that there's so much relying on the layers of paint and how it, all that stuff, I would probably be even more upset if I put it all on there and the hood and the deck lid didn't match what I had just done to the car, as it is right now. So I'm not willing to take those chances. I'm just going to start from scratch, sort of, and just go over it, be done with it, make it right. BK Woods, for those that do not know, what happened with Jade or the paint on Jade. Okay, so I posted a couple videos. One was a little short that I did, and then on the buffing video, I added on to the end of it and showed what was going on. Apparently, the painter screwed up. The producer said the painter screwed up, and the editing guy said the painter screwed up, and the painter screwed up. Essentially, I got not enough paint in the middle of the door. So there's an area of the door about that big that is shadowy gray. I mean, it's green or aqua, but you can still see the gray underneath. And more so, the front of the door, on the driver's side now, the front where it meets the fender, somehow I got too much material. So it's extra dark, and then it's extra light, and then it's normal going the rest of the car. The rest of the car looked fantastic. There was no overlap problems at all. So now that I think about it more, or I mentioned maybe that when you're painting, and people have said this, walk the car, right? It's an expression used for painting, walk the car. What they mean is paint from one end to the other. Don't stop in the middle anywhere. Honestly, that's probably where I messed up, because I only paint every couple years, every few years. I don't do it every month or every week, so my mind gets kind of maybe a little distracted. When I was laying the base, and this is the thing with base, I was probably overly concerned with the base, even though it's not that, to put it lightly, is to say it's not that critical. And what I mean by that is when you're spraying color, let me pull that off there a second. When you're spraying color, you don't have to, like let's say when I do clear coat, you want to keep that wet edge, right? You want to do a little bit, have an overlap and keep a wet edge. It's critical. Keep that wet edge so you don't have any dry spots. And I think in my mind, I was giving clear coat parameters to base coat product. I did not have to worry about the wet edge, because base coat, it doesn't care. As long as you have the coverage, it's okay. So when I was painting the fender, and I don't have something good to use as an example, but let's say, I was painting the fender, and you have, well, like in this box, you have a little seam right there, right? I don't know if that works, but I was trying to lay the base coat and overlapped the fender to the door, thinking I have to have a good transition here. And then when I backed up and started spraying again, I was actually adding more material over the fender and the door gap without thinking about it. And then I got ahead of myself and didn't pass over the door correctly in the middle. I hope that makes sense. But base coat, you have 24 hours. You have 24 hours to top coat base. So if I had even stepped back and used, looked at it in the light and went, oh, wait a minute, this isn't quite right here. If I had seen it, I could have added more color, more base to it. It probably would have been just fine. But again, when they talk about walking the car, it is, look, here's a little tiny car. It's like starting at the front corner and walking all the way down, coming back, all the way down and coming back. Now, of course, the trick too is not to make tiger stripes. You're not going to want to do like you're mowing the yard, right? And when you mow the yard, you come to the cut line and just keep going, right? Cut line, cut line, cut line. You want to overlap, of course, so that you don't have that kind of thing. But you have to just kind of be careful with it. So anyway, I did it wrong. It was all me. I did it wrong. And we have Ben. I think you need some Krispy Kremes after the show. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Actually, I have some cake. I have some cake to eat. Since you mentioned it, I have some cake. But I may need Krispy Kremes. But my wife baked me a cake this past week. Really appreciate the offer, though. But I could use some Krispy Kremes. If nothing else, more coffee. Let's see. Jerry, I have new panels, i.e. front fender and door. Do I need to spray sealer even though the rest of the car is painted? Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, Jerry. I mean, I don't know what the panels, have you taken them down to bare metal and put epoxy on them? Whatever you've done to the other panels, you need to replicate that as much as you can. So you're probably going to need a sealer, but whatever you've done to the other panels needs to be the same. Needs to be the same coming out. So, wait a minute. Troy, get some coffee with your Krispy Kremes. Thank you, man. You get a bell. Both of you get a bell. Thank you. Let me see where we're at here. Troy, we're all sending good vibes your way on the second shoot. Thank you. I need that. And we have our first Dave sighting, I believe. Dave Conville. Late, but the first one. Dan checking in. Hello, everyone. Great to be back home. Really sorry to see what happened to the car, sir. Yes, I am too. I'm glad you're back home, safe and sound. I didn't know you were on your way. I'm glad you're here. Denny, I try to use a mixed sealer similar to the base to keep this from happening. Yep, not a bad idea. 64, do you think there may be a defect in your base coat spray gun? No, it wasn't the gun. It wasn't the gun. Because everywhere else, it laid out beautiful. Just beautiful. It was on me. I just did it wrong. Chris, at least it wasn't black, right? No, I mean, if it was black, I'd be done. I could fix it in no time. I could fix that easily if it was black. Wally, I like walk the car. Yep. We'll use it on mine. Thanks. Yes. Yes. Fast and Furious on my third paint job on my Roscoe car. First time was a terrible paint job. Took it somewhere they nailed. Looked great for 6 months. Oh, okay. Just see that in the first shop didn't strip all the glue from the vinyl top. Now the roof is covered in the little bubbles under the paint. Oh, man. Not good. Jimmy, I'm guessing the darker spot are from what you had the problem with the blemish at the front of the fender where it meets the door. Yeah, and that may be too, where I did have that issue. You're right. You're absolutely right. That could be part of it too. I forgot about that, where I had that issue at the front of the door and I had fogged it over. I added material there. So yeah, that's a good point. Good catch, Jimmy. Good catch. Jerry, no epoxy, just the coating from the manufacturer. Okay. Well, you're still going to need to put whatever you put underneath on top of that in the other panels, Jerry, you're still going to need to build that out. So, I don't know if you had put, high build or what, but I would recommend you put some sort of sealer on at some point. BK started here, but will you make it much? But you will make it much better in the end. And cake makes everything better. Yes, yeah. We had we had, and not that I don't know. I had a birthday last week, so every birthday my wife makes lasagna for me, and chocolate cake with peanut butter icing. That was pretty awesome. Chocolate cake with peanut butter icing is hard to beat. So is a lasagna. Let me just tell you that. Anyway, Clark, you should go all Luke Skywalker and throw on the blindfold. That's the Force. Trust the Force, Barry. Yeah. Trust the Force. Marshall been wiring all weekend. Don't have anything to compare it to, but not too impressed with the kit from American. Sheeting to try for first start about this time on Thursday. Wish me luck. I'll need it. Sorry, you're disappointed with American. Let's see, Chris. Barry, at least you're honest with yourself. Paint and glass installation. Most panic-inducing jobs on these things. Yes, I agree 100%. Now, I will point something out. But first I'm going to get a sip of coffee. Hold on. There's a product that any professional shop should have. I mean, a professional body shop or restoration shop, whatever. There's something called a sun gun. The problem, though, is the sun gun is not cheap. If you Google it, if you look up sun gun, I think 3M makes it. We had one at the body shop. I think they're $500 or $600. Okay. I can't justify having a $500 or $600 high intensity flashlight, at my disposal. However, if I've been, somebody shared some information. There's a guy, Mr. Fireman. If you follow him, apparently he made his own sun gun from a Black & Decker drill. Took apart a Black & Decker drill, electric cordless drill, and he put a light in it and rigged up used the battery off that thing to power his light and make a sun gun. Or I'll show you an alternative. I was Googling around, and this popped up when I was looking for sun gun. This is from Harbor Freight, right? Professional rechargeable color match light. I was like, oh, wow. Let me go check that out. So I bought it. So it's been on the charge. I'll just show it to you. This is what you get, along with a little instruction booklet. You get this base that you plug in, your USB port plug in. It's also wall mountable. So that's nice. This light comes with a hook. You always got to have your hook on your light, right? Comes with a magnetic base. So I don't have anything I can stick it to. The pivots. So you can put it in multiple directions, right? So really, what I could do is, like, if I use a jack stand, I could put this against the jack stand, if I wanted to, and move it around. Let me tell you, this was $39.99. Now, I don't know what it costs for Mr. Fireman to make his, drill conversion thing. I can't tell you. I don't know. $39.99 at Harbor Freight. This thing is, I probably cut 455 lumens. Okay. I'm not going to aim it at the thing, but it's got the switch on the back, which is really nice. So if I hit this, I don't want to aim it at the thing. That's pretty bright. I'm just saying. That is really bright. I can't see now, but I'm just telling you. This is gonna be used when I do the next one. It actually has two. It's got the main power setting. Look how bright that is. And then it has another one, slightly dark, a little bit less bright. I can't see very well anyway. But $39.99. This is going to help. I will be, and I already went in the booth because I have Jade in the booth right now, and I went in there, and with the LED lights on, it looks pretty decent, as it did whenever I first sprayed it. Then I turned the lights off and I turned on this little bugger. I could see it then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to respray the car. I'm going to walk the whole car with this thing and make sure that I can see, what's going on. Because I can't take chances anymore. And I have to sneeze. So anyway, now you know. Let's see. Chris, Barry, at least we shared that already. 64. Before you sprayed Jade, how many coats of high build did you actually shoot? Just curious. It had 2 rounds of high build. 2 rounds. But block sanded between each round. So, probably I did 2 coats, block sanded it, did 2 more coats, and block sanded it. And so really, what do you end up with? What do you end up with as a thickness? I don't know. It might be 2 coats total after all the block sanding. I didn't have any sealer on it. I should have, but I didn't. And then the car itself has 3 coats of base and then 2 coats of clear is what was actually on the car. I only did 2 coats of clear. So at this point, once I already have the materials, I have 3 quarts of base to shoot. I have a whole new order of clear coat, and so it's going to end up with probably at least 2 coats of base again, maybe 3. And I might try some different things. I was talking to actually Mr. Cyrano earlier today, and he's done a bunch of this stuff, and there were some suggestions made about just making sure the pattern is, you get good coverage and go different directions and stuff like that. But the thing is, the rest of the car was amazing. I mean, it was just right on the money. Just that one side that I messed it up. Chris, Barry is my old man and said painters and body shops in general are better painting customers' cars than their own, probably because they are paid compared to do work when they're tired. Well, yeah, I mean, I get that. Dave, belated happy birthday. Well, thank you, man. Appreciate that. 64. Wonder if they make a spray gun with LED lights built in. $1 million idea if they don't. Actually, I used, and here's the thing. I used this. This is called a gun bud. It's really just a headlamp. I mean, it's really just a headlamp with a small strap on it. And you attach this, see all the green on it from the spray. You attach it to your paint cup and turn it on, and it's supposed to help. And apparently I didn't pay that much attention when I was spraying, because I did have this on when I sprayed base, but I didn't have it on for the clear. So they already kind of have that, But I have seen other people improvise and use other things as well. But that's like made for getting it on the cup. So now the plan is to finish prepping the car. I'm hoping that I can get the bulk of it ready by tomorrow. The hood is back on the car. The deck lid is on the car. I'll have to get set the fenders on the car. Of course, after all the edges and stuff are prepped, and then start, obviously clean out the booth, tape it, foam the gaps and everything. And then if I can get all the prep work done, either I'm going to reshoot it Wednesday or early Thursday. I'm not real sure just yet. So it's got to be one of those days, though. It's got to be. And there's a just giving you a heads up. I'm not sure. Just letting you know now. I'm not sure if I'll be here on Monday, this coming Memorial weekend. We have to make a trip. As many of you know, my brother passed away about 2 months ago, and so he was cremated, and we are doing a memorial service for him back home, and so we have to get to Pennsylvania and then come back. So anyway, just letting you know, Monday may or may not happen. I may not even post a notice. If I get back in time on Monday, it may just be that I'm on. Just letting you know, for those of you that have been here all this time and following along. Dave Britton checking in. I think it's Dave number 2. Or second Dave. Chris, Barry, so how long is it going to take to reshoot? Well, it's all in the prep work. Again, it'll probably take a day. It'll be 2 or 3 days of full prep work probably, and then just shooting it. I've been trying to do a little bit. I did a little over the weekend. I did a little bit on Friday, taking care of panels as I move along. Dave, Barry, will you paint it now with the panels all on it? Yes. Yep. It's going to be fully assembled. I just, as I said earlier, I don't trust the outcome. If I had, because I'd painted the hood and the fender and all the other pieces separate, or a hood and a deck lid. And, if I do all this and then everything's done and I bolt it together and I look at it and go, ooh, that doesn't match. That'll be really bad. Really bad. So I'm not going to go that route. Dale, hello, late here from Northern California. Glad you're here. Rick, makes you wonder how Chip Foose does an entire car with a perfect paint job in less than a week. Yeah. Less than a week. Count on it. Yeah, if you ever watched Overhauling, they did a car in a week. The thing is, how many people do they have working on that car? That's the big thing. And a lot of these guys are the top-notch pros who are just putting in some time for the show. So if you do the math, you can't say a week. You can say how many hours did they put in, and they had 50 guys working 10-hour days or whatever. That's 500 hours a day. If you had 50 people working on it. So it's neat to see, though. It's really cool to see the TV shows where they can make all that magically happen. Crash right on back and clean as a whistle. Have photos for proof. Just joking about the photos. Thank you. Thank you. Seriously. Let's see. Oh, okay. I had some pictures show up. You know what? Let me look at these pictures quick, because Mr. Cyrano, okay, he had found some charts or drawings that you could apparently order off of eBay. And the dimension sheets that you look for whenever you're putting something together. And he had sent me a copy of it. And apparently these are poster size from what he was telling me. So you could get them off eBay where it's just, like a poster instead of a book size. I have not seen them before, but this is what he's talking about. Now, I don't know how big that sheet is. Those are the dimensions for a 70 Mustang. Which if you're working on one of these, that's good information to have. So let me get back here. Pull that back off. Comments. Where are we at? Guido is checking in from California. Glad you're here. Jimmy Thomas Barry, you want to change your reducer if you were using medium reducer. I have a garage paint booth like yours and it's painting this week and was drying too fast and had to switch to slow. Well, the thing is, the temperature's going up, which is not helping. I do have air conditioning out here in the front half of the shop, but I'm still going to have fresh air coming into the shop. So I did actually change up my reducer. The my PPG rep turned me on to DT895 high temperature reducer, and this will actually go into clear coat. I have another JR508 very slow reducer that'll go into paint. So yes, that's a good call. Thank you for that. Ish, will a spray booth oven make any difference in curing a paint job? Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, anything with heat and air movement will help cure out a paint job faster. The other thing is infrared light. It'll help it cure really fast. Chris, I'm trying to contemplate painting it versus rebuffing, polishing, and waxing. Yeah. I wish I had an easy answer for you, but I don't. Because painting is a lot of work. It adds up quick. My nose is itching. Jessica, family first, Barry. We will wait. Safe travels. Yes, thank you. Yep. Yeah, it's not one of those trips you really kind of want to make, But anyway, it'll be fine. Let me see where we're at here. Okay, so what else is going on? I mean, I know what I've been doing, and it's been a lot of sweat. Sweat equity at this point. Even though I didn't turn the air on until I was getting ready to do the stream tonight. I had left it open and left the air blow through the shop. But sweat equity to make things happen. Oh, 70 JT 73 Dodge Challenger, $10. Thank you, man. Oh, speaking of Challengers, I mean Challenger, Cuda, same, right? Pretty much the same. My youngest son, he posted some pictures of the Mustang somewhere. And one of his friends responded, would your dad be interested in buying a 70 Cuda? And he told me that, and I was like, a 70 Cuda? Really? Who has a 70 Cuda they want to sell? And so he got some information. It was like, oh, it's one of his, it's his friend's, it was his grandfather's car, and he's passed away, and now his mom has it, and she's thinking about selling it. And I was like, really? Okay. Let me know. Just let me know. We'll talk about it. I said, if nothing else, I could go look at it for him and see, if it's what status it is and what it may or may not need. But yeah, I wouldn't mind 70 Cuda. That'd be pretty cool. Chris, especially when paint shops just turn it down for color. Yeah. Yeah. JT, a little help with the repaint. Thank you, man. Yeah. That'll help. Wow, 70 Cuda. Yeah, that's what I was like. When he said that, like I said, my ears perked up a little bit. I'm thinking, 70 Cuda? Surely you jest. But Dave, if you can get the Cuda cheap, buy it. Yeah, well, what's cheap these days? What's cheap? I don't even know. I mean, I know they're not easy to come by. And I don't know the condition of it or anything. I don't know. That's all I know, 70 Cuda. So I may, hopefully I can at least get, maybe get a knock on a door and say, hey, you want me to look at the car? I'd like to help. If nothing else, just be really cool to see it. Caden, geez, yeah. Wally, don't call me Shirley. Yeah. Now, Wally, I sent you a message on email because I thought you had said, unless I'm wrong, I thought you had said something about being on the stream tonight. But if not, that's fine too. I was just curious. I thought we had um, you maybe had mentioned it. I didn't send you the link yet, but I didn't know if you wanted to be on the stream. That was the question. Caden, 10 tornadoes so far, and 6 of them in the last hour. Speaking of which, I heard a bad one hit near you. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, we had a tornado. I mean, hit west of us. I don't know, a month and a half ago, something like that. It was all clean. I mean, it was bad where they were, but we didn't experience any problems. Let's see. Oh, Wallace says did not see it. Chris, Joe, cheap cars are 75 to 81 Firebirds, and Camaros are getting and Camaros for getting and fixing up. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Wally, I was thinking that guy who worked for Shelby. What? What are we talking about? I'm not sure what you're saying, Wally. You're confusing me. Caden, hoping for the best. Severe weather next few days. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping you're prepared for such things and have a storm shelter or something to get into and be safe. Tornadoes are nothing to play with. That's for sure. They're not something you want to mess around with. Terry Keithley, hey Barry, my wife used to race her 340 Swinger, crazy blonde. Sorry about your brother. Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's you know, it's life. But anyway, he the only thing I look at, he was 59, he's 6 years older than me, and so when I look at it is he died too young, obviously, but he didn't go out like suffering in a severe pain for years and years with some sort of weird cancer or something killing him over a long period of time. So I mean, there's something to be said about that too. I mean, granted, we all want to live as long as we can, but sometimes the endurance factor is what's worse over time. So anyway, Chris sent you a picture of the Formula. Okay. Denny in the shop working on the 65 Fastback sent a photo to your email. Okay. Whoa, I'm getting. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Everybody's sending me pictures right now. All right. So let me get that one. Hang on a minute. Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna pull down a couple of pictures from Paul and Denny and 64 and a half. That looks pretty good. Okay, let me see if I can get these pulled up real quick. So, hang on. Just give me a minute. Which one was it? This one? See if that pulls up. Okay, so Chris had sent a picture of his. Oops, let me pull down Danny's comment. Hold on. Okay. So Chris sent us a picture of his car. Looks nice. Let me get I've got to do these individually. So it takes a second. In the meantime, I think, let me see, where am I at here? This is Paul and his 66 Cyclone. That's pretty sharp, I have to admit. He said it's 90% done. That's a beautiful car. There's another shot of the engine bay. It looks fantastic. And then, hold on. Wait, there's more. If you order now, see if I can get this next one. This is from 64 and a half. And he points out that this should make you feel better. This is all the further along I am. Just finished door skin Saturday. Didn't even touch the left side of the car yet. Hey, that's okay. That's good progress. That is good progress. Trust me. And then I have one more. If I can pull it up correctly. And this should be, this is Denny Alvey checking in with his, hold on. Attached, you will see the progress on the fastback. And that's pretty nice to see that as well. Okay, so now I'm going to send a link to Wally. Let's see here. Wally's been doing some fun things. He recently painted his jet ski because he was experimenting. He wanted to, try, he's going to paint his car, and he didn't want to just jump straight in the car. He wanted to paint something. So he prepped and painted his jet ski to, get comfortable with the process. So I think it turned out pretty good. Okay, so we have the fastback. Okay, that showed up. JT 70 CUDA and Challenger are the most sought after and really considered the real muscle Mopars. Hemis 440 Magnums, 383 Magnum, and 340. Yeah, I mean, I was shocked when he said 70 CUDA. Now, she probably did some research and knows that it's worth a good bit of money, but you never know. Willie Goodman, thumbs up. Thank you. Caden, sadly, we don't have a shelter. We do have a stronghold in the house. Okay. Well, as long as you've got hopefully a strong enough place to go to be safe. Nick is checking in. I'm glad you're here, Nick. Caden, but I have a paranoid relatives that think we need to hoard 50 pounds of MREs. What do you mean? There's something wrong with that? That's okay. I have a friend, we'll just say works for the government agency type thing, government thing. He's been telling me for years I need to be putting away food for long-term, like 25-year food. I don't know. Darcy, working on my 57 Mercury truck, hoping to have the cab, doors, fenders, and hood painted by end of June. Bed is painted and needs buffing. Thanks for the motivation. I enjoy your videos and tech tips. Good. That's nice to hear. Thank you. I'm glad you're making progress. 57 Mercury, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Chris, JT, only the Mopars that people want because it looks better than any B-body. Okay. Clark, nothing wrong with 50 pounds of MREs. As long as it's not, what was the one? Chicken a la King. Yeah, as long as it's not chicken a la King, you're okay. Okay, Nick. Welded hands to car, typing with nose, send help. I don't know. Well, you know what, Nick? I will say, you're typing really good with your nose. That's the case. That's pretty impressive. I mean, even the hyphen, even the dash, the period, the comma. That's all. You should just type with your nose all the time, Nick. Just saying. Chris, Barry, that car is getting better. If we can just get the seat covers in, front windows going in this week with a transmission checkout from Doc Transmission. Cool. I mean, you're going to love cruising around in that thing. That's for sure. Rick, omelet with ham was nasty. What year was that? That was in the MRE? I never had I never had MREs with omelet with ham. I've never had that. So maybe you're thinking of something. Maybe you're talking about something else that I don't know, like a sea ration or something. But I never had that in an MRE. Nick, I have the big iPhone. Yeah, well, maybe you should just talk into it then. Instead of typing, just kind of do the audio thing. Jessica, well, if you're a nerd and go by Star Trek timeline, WW3 starts in 2026. Maybe he knows something we don't. Yeah, it could be. It could be. I don't know. I know he's been pushing that towards me for a while now. Like, do this, do that, get things to clean your water. I'm like, even my wife's asked me, she's like, does he know something we don't know or what? I said, I don't know. I don't know. Rick Stevenson, I had that in the 90s. Okay, yeah. I had, MREs 85 to 88. So whatever generation that was, I never had any with omelet. Chicken a la king, though, that would clean you out. Just saying. A omelet. Okay. That's a good word. That's a new word. Nick gets a new word bell. Good job, Nick. Let's see. Chris, it's not perfect. My pictures hide the imperfections. Yeah. And that's the thing. You can definitely do some camera tricks to hide stuff. Nick, that's an option. Well, I just feel like a horse's patoot. Patoot. Man, you're coming up with some good words tonight, Nick. Patoot. I'm not sure how you spell patoot, but that looks pretty accurate. I'll have to go with that spelling. Caden just sent some pics. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, more pictures. Oh. Yeah, there's a bunch of, yeah. I'll pull the in memory of my great uncle. I'm not sure what that. I can't tell what that car is. Not from the picture anyway. Let me pull that one in real quick. Oh yeah, very nice. Very nice. I like that. Sharp colors. Let me see what these other ones are real quick. Hold on a minute. I got to look at them. Oh, that's kind of cool. Let me, I'll download this one. Cool old truck. Give me a second. Click, 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 click. Got to get around. Click, click, click. Okay, here we go. I like that. Cool old truck. It looks like it must be a 28 or 29. I can't tell which at this point. Got these women blocking the view. I can't see the cowl, but I know it's a 28 or 29. Messing up the picture, they are. Let's see where we're at. Troy, the chicken a la snot was good with Tabasco. We didn't even have Tabasco. I mean, I know now they put the Tabasco in the little bottles in the kits. We didn't have any of that. 64 or Shane. Science to say Twinkies will outlive cockroaches. Yeah. If they were alive. Wally, sorry having sync issues. Give me a minute or two. Okay, no problem. Caden, see, I'm lucky I got the 2010s. I even got Skittles in one. Yeah, we didn't have any of that stuff. We had to make our own Ranger cookies. Anybody ever heard of a Ranger cookie? Basically, you took the MREs and you took out the cocoa powder. Took the cocoa powder, the creamer. You dump in the cocoa powder. The sugar pack, you dump it in the cocoa powder. You add your whole tube of peanut butter. You squeeze into the cocoa powder and you start mixing it. Add a little water if you need to, but you just mix it up and it becomes a cake. A very dense little cake. Ranger cookie. Chris, cream chip beef on toast. Ugh, I hate when mom gets a craving for it. My grandpa used to make it all the time. I'll take some of that. That's awesome. Jeff, super sticker. Awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very appreciated. That's awesome. Let's see. Clark says car pics in the mail. So is everybody sending me pictures tonight? Okay. I'm going to pull these down quick. I see Wally is in the background. He's getting his camera positioned where he wants to be. So I'm going to pull these down real quick. Hold on a minute. And we'll get those up on display. I see you, Wally. I'll get you there in just a second. Okay, so there's one picture from Clark. And see if I can get the second one. Give it, the little thing is twirling around. Okay. I mean, it looks like good progress. It says nearly completed, LOL. Yeah. Okay. Oh, my nose is starting to get itchy. Hold on a second. Caden says it was a 32 Chevy with small block, 52 T-Bird, and I don't have the Mustang. You're right off. Okay. Nick, man, I do like burnt orange. Yes. Dave Britton, only a car guy would say those women are blocking the view. Yep. Knowing this, they're going in my bug out bag. Okay. Oh, talking about the MREs. Hello, I say that with all the magazines. All right. I got a bunch of comments coming on the side, but I'm going to bring in Wally. Here he comes. There he is. We have Wally stream.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Let us know if you can hear Wally okay. I can hear you, but I can control the volume on my laptop. So let me hold on just a second. Let me pull this down. Okay. How's it going, Wally?
It's going actually pretty good, Barry. Just wanted to have a shout out to everybody. It is frustrating when you're working on these cars and the amount of time that you think it's going to take. I mean, I remember you and I having a conversation about 18 months ago, right? When I first, found you and I reached out and said, okay, I'm about to do this. I have no idea what I'm doing. And you started giving me advice and stuff. And like I said, that's a year and a half ago now, I'm thinking to myself, and we're still in a car, it's got primer on it and, it now runs. I can drive it down the street and bring it home. So, we've gone a long way, but it's still, I can't believe that, it's probably still another 2 months, we still got to sand it, got to paint it, and then assemble the car. There's still all the parts that still need to go on it. So it's a long process for these. And I can see why now Jade is 6 years or 5 years and I'm retired now, so I can work on this pretty well when I want.
Right.
And you were pulling down jobs and stuff. So I can commiserate with you.
Yeah. And and you say 2 months, and I'm hoping you're accurate with 2 months. I'm hoping you're good with 2 months. I mean,
you're right.
Because I mean, you've done a ton of stuff, and I know you've been proactive in making sure this fits and that fits and this fits, checking all your wiring. I know you're way ahead on the curve on that. So, but I'm hoping everything goes smooth for you. The paint goes and everything, works out.
Well, and again, the tips are just fantastic. When you pay a jet ski, you load the gun with the base and 50-50, right? I got the reducer and a 50% base. And I mean, you hit the top of it, you hit the side of it, and you don't have to lock it. I mean, literally, I can just do the whole length of the jet ski with my arm. And then you started talking about that, and I thought to myself, what, you're right. If I start here, let's say, and I start walking, you're going to have a tendency to lay more on
You're still there.
Sorry. You're going to have a tendency to lay more where you stop spraying, right? So your ends are going to get, and then, you know, as you said, then in the center, you know, so the idea of walking down the whole length of the car, then the concern I have, and you point this out, is when you're just working straight down a panel, you can really overlap easily because you can see your overlap as you go down. But then, as you said, is if I'm going to walk the entire length of this car back and forth, you know, a big concern is going to be, you know, am I going to get the overlap, right? Am I going to do the overlap 50%, or am I going to do this and then I'm going to have a you know, like it's called a tiger strings, right?
Right. Well, and that's a conversation I had with Mr. Cyrano earlier today. He's done some really high-end stuff. And he commented that, yeah, you can have that concern, but what he does, he talks about these modern paints are kind of thinner than the old stuff we had in the 70s and 80s. It's actually thinner in essence. And so one thing he had commented was he goes multiple directions. So instead of just, let's say, east and west,
yeah,
he may go at an angle, you know, and just kind of fog it around to make sure everything gets kind of that cover all over the place.
Well, I took your advice on the jet ski. What I did do is the first time I went on the jet ski, I was moving really quickly and kind of just laid down almost like a translucent layer, just something, as you had mentioned, you know, to give me something to tack to.
Right.
And then I came back and then I would hit it harder, right? And then you slow your hand down, right? So instead of doing this, you know, you're bringing your arm, you know, like that and trying to swing in. And it worked really well, and it's sitting now in the water, so I can't show it to everybody. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But it is down at the lake, so of course it's, but it looks gorgeous. I mean, the sun beats on it. It looks wonderful. So I'm really happy with the color. Yeah. And this is another problem. And I can see, I hear you when you're talking about your color, because the idea that I'm going to go now, they mixed me up a quart, and that's what I used on the jet ski. They're going to now mix me a gallon of this stuff. And if he just drops one extra drop of blue or one extra drop of black, that's going to change the dynamic of that color. And even though I'm going to spray it, I won't even notice it because they won't be side to side. The challenge, and I got a mosquito in here, the challenge is that you're going to get, I'm going to sit here chasing this guy. If I would have to go back and redo the door and ask him to give me just a quart or something, I couldn't believe it would possibly be the same shade and not even the same.
It would be very tough. It would be very tough. And that's why I'm not taking any chances. I just can't. I just can't go, all right, I'll shoot the bottom half of the door, hope for the best. Well, guess what? If it doesn't match, I'm still starting over. You know? So I'm just going to forego that step and just be done.
Yeah, yeah. But like I said, yeah. So I went out, I took a couple of your viewers' advice. I put in an aluminum radiator. I went aftermarket aluminum. So it's a 3-core, and it's actually a lot bigger. Let me lean this over here. You might be able to see it. It is a lot bigger than the original radiator. So I had to build a bracket to so it would mount. But one of the nice things about it is, you know, the opening in the front of the opening that's in the front there. Oh, hold on. Do that. There we go. The opening that's in the front. Oh, it's backwards. There's my problem. This thing's turned backwards. The opening in front of the radiator now, like in front of the car, is the exact size of the fins, right? So the other radiator was inside. This, even though it's hanging on the outside, it is maximum size for the front. So hopefully I'm going to get some good cooling on this thing now. And I got that sorted out. Oh, and I also did I upgraded the alternator. So now it's one of these, you call it a 1-wire, but really what it is, you got the main wire that comes off, and that just goes, of course, back to the battery. But then you have 2 connectors, number 1 and number 2. Number 1 is where you put the indicator light in series to let you know if the alternator is working or not. That's your alternator light. And then, of course, the other one's the exciter, which, of course, then you put on a switch so that when you start the car, it powers it up. But there is no idiot light on this car for the alternator, right? It had an ampere gauge,
Okay.
on the on the console. It doesn't have an idiot light. But what this car does have, and it's the funniest thing, it has a seatbelt reminder light. So right beside the right-hand turn signal, there's a little red, behind it, there's a bulb, which isn't working. It doesn't work, which would light up if you didn't have your seatbelts on when the car was started. So
Right.
what I did is I wired my alternator into that. So when I turned the key to on, belts come on, like the light for
Yeah.
belts. And of course, once you start it, the alternator starts charging. So of course,
Yeah.
then that goes out, right? But
That works.
yeah, so some of the cool stuff I'm just trying to get, I ammeter gauges I hate. I tried to turn it into an alternator, a voltage gauge, but it's upside down and backwards, and I couldn't figure it out. And I bet you there's somebody out there smarter than me who was able to maybe put a resistor in there or something. I don't know.
Right.
I just went with the idiot light now on the alternator, so it'll just say belts when the alternator fails if the belt flies off. Well, maybe there it is. If the belt comes off, it comes up with belt.
Yeah.
It worked.
There you go. Didn't say which belt.
It didn't. That's right. It didn't say seat belt. It just says belt. So yeah, if that light comes on, then my alternator's dead. But yeah, so it is drivable. And like I said, the only thing really left now is to build a paint booth. I got to get into the garage. I was just having some problems with another vehicle, so I'm going to fix it up over the next day or two. And then I'm going to clean the garage out because I'm in the other garage. So this is not my workshop. This is where this car is sitting. But I'm going to be doing that in the other garage and turning it into a paint booth. So I'm going to have to, I'm going to put the wood around the top of the ceiling, screw it into the joists, and then hang plastic down, drape the plastic down. The nice thing about the Mustang is I've got those casters, where you drop the car on them and then you can move the car left and right, side to side. You got 4 casters for each wheel. So I'll be able to like open up the plastic, shove the car in, close the plastic, and then run the fans for an hour or two just to kind of hopefully suck in fresh air, which is defiltered, and blow out the dusty air and try to get rid of as many of those nibs as you pointed out, to keep.
Well, wet the floor down. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Even I put paper from the backside of the rocker panel, the flange, down to the floor. I eliminated anything from under the car itself. The only thing the only issue I ran into, because I had the fenders. Are you taking the tires and wheels off?
No. So the good news is that these are crappy wheels that came with the car, and I've got a set of the original chrome slotted waiting. So all I'm going to do is I have a trailer, and on that trailer I had bought those, the things that cover the wheels in the wintertime, so the sun doesn't deteriorate over. Right. I was just going to throw that over them, and that was it. I wasn't really worried about it. Or are you concerned about the rubber?
I'm a little concerned with it. The reason I bring this up, if you run your hand inside your wheel well right now, and you feel the flange as it rotates up,
yeah,
is it flat or does it rotate back in towards the fender?
You know what? It's almost like somebody rolled it. But this isn't a new fender. These fenders came with the car, so I have no history on these.
I know, but that's the way they're made. My original fenders do that as well. They're flat up to the center, and then it rolls back, right?
And then it rolls back.
So think about that. How are you going to paint that?
Yeah, you're right. I'd hit the wheel to get in there.
Yep.
Well, now there's another idea. Now, so this is a challenge I'm going to have. I'm thinking of putting a C stripe on this car.
Yeah.
That means I was going to take white paint and paint white along the body line here.
Yes.
And then, of course, around the back of the C. And then, of course, put the C stripe on and then hit the car with the base and then pull the C stripe off. Now, I'm going to need to do that when the fenders and the hood and the door is all aligned, because you can't have that move afterwards.
Correct.
But then I was thinking, once I had the white on and I had the C stripe on, I would actually take the fender off, because I could then at that point, because the C stripe's in place, and then paint that separately, which means maybe that would be the right way to do this. Or, as you said, pull the wheels.
Yeah, I mean, but the way I look at it, for me in this case, I want to have the paint flow look correct completely across the car. I don't want to have any issues, because I didn't have the front wheel. I had the front wheels on. I taped them off, covered them, and I sprayed. And I know I aimed that gun up there, but it still has primer showing where that rotation is,
where that rotates.
where that kicks back. So
Should I try to bring it out? Should I try to flatten it?
no, you don't want to flatten it because that's made to clear the wheel when it turns.
Oh,
That's why it's built that way, to help clear the wheel. Okay, so I mean, you may not want to put it on, but I'm just going to offer this up to you. If you can, put it on jack stands. Put it on jack stands and get the wheels completely out of your way. Everywhere you need to have color, if you're fighting with a wheel or any kind, and you're trying to get underneath the wheel well, it's gonna make it worse. But if you can pull that stuff off, like if you looked at my paint video I taped on the back flange of the wheel arch in the back, and then I papered all the way in. And that allowed me to cover the inner wheel well, the spring, everything. I could cover all in one shot. Now, granted, I still already have overspray and stuff from when I primed on a lot of that. But if you're at a point where you're going to be spraying paint and clear coat and you don't want to get it on the springs, think about where that paint can flow.
right.
And if it's on jack stands, then you can back tape all that stuff.
Right.
And what I'm going to do when I spray it this time, I want to get the fenders on the car, but I don't want to get them on yet. I have the hood on the car. I already have it mounted and the deck lid. I'm going to take off all four wheels. I'm going to have it on jack stands. I want to tape off the entire inner wheel well area so that nothing, because I've already sprayed all that. It's got undercoating on it and everything. I'm going to mask all of that, the suspension, everything, and mask it down to the floor. So when the fender's on the car, I can just flow underneath. I can just hit that back edge. I can aim back towards myself, if I need to get all that coverage. And that's just the way I'm doing it. But just food for thought. Just food for thought.
Because I haven't got color on the inside here or on the top here where it bolts onto the car, I was thinking, having the fender off when I paint it would give me better, I could paint all this because I know
right, and that's true. That is true. I'm just saying, think about these things in the process. Yeah. So you can go like I painted the fenders. I had no hood on the car when I painted, so I could paint the top of the fenders. I could paint the cowl. I could get all that, and it worked out great. Okay.
So do that little trick of yours then. Take these out, put the all threads in it, just so you can tape it all up and paper it, and then you can kind of just hang the fender off.
Right.
You don't have to worry about alignment because I'll have the stripe on already from the alignment when it's bolted on. But really, by just hanging it on, at least then, as you said, I can walk the car again rather than painting a fender over there and then painting the rest of the door and the rear quarter over here, right? And getting it in that one.
Yeah.
And again,
it takes some thought.
Go ahead.
It takes some thought to go through it and in your mind visualize it. Even if you got to pretend you're holding a paint gun and go, okay, I can do that. I can do that, because I jammed out the door jams. I jammed the kick panels. I had all that stuff prepped before I put anything else on the car.
Well, and that's good advice. I mean, it was the same thing when I did the gel coat. I did it without the hardener just to see what it did. Did it come out of the gun right? Did it, and as you said, you pretend you're painting and, can you get in where you need to get it? And I ran into a problem, as you said, if I have to tilt the gun too much, since it's a gravity feed, it starves the gun, right? If you tilt it back too much, the paint falls to the back. And if it's not a full, if I'm not running a full container, that's my other problem. I'm really afraid because I don't know how much paint I need to mix up to do the whole car, in one batch, is it, I know you're on, it's 50-50 with the clear, with the base and the reducer. Do I mix up a whole cup of it, or do I have a couple of cups of it just in case I run out? I mean, that's another.
Well, I know for me, I don't know what the actual quantity is of my PPS cups. Like these, the cups that I have, they come in different sizes. They have a small one. This is the medium, and this is technically I can get about 24 ounces out of this cup. Okay.
Yeah.
This cup is like a quart, so it's bigger. In fact, you can see the difference. This is one of the liners sitting inside from this cup into this cup because there's still some of my base. If I remember correctly, for me to mix this, I think it took like, gosh, at least 3 of these. But that was without the hood. That was without the hood and without the deck lid. Okay, that was doing the body.
So that was
like
that would be your one coat, and then you take your 10 minutes so it can flash off, and then you hit it again.
I could tell you out of the whole gallon that I had for this car. Okay. I know 2 coats of base were on the hood and the deck lid and the valance panels and all that. The main car, I had to put 3 coats because I had problems. So at this point, hang on just a second.
That's actually a fantastic thing to show us. How much of a gallon of paint did you use to spray that car?
Okay. Let me open this just to show you. I know I can't show you, but I can give you a visual reference based on where I feel like the edge is, because there's not much in this can.
That's scary.
So here it is. This, I'm opening up right now. That much.
Wow.
That's what I have left in this can.
And that's mixed 50-50 with reducer, right? You were doing 50-50 reducer?
Yeah. You can look, that's all that's in there.
That is nothing left.
That is nothing.
Yeah.
So
the thing going for me though is I got a soft top. I don't have to worry about a roof.
That's true. That is true. But
so I can just hit this with the I should be good with a gallon then, because a gallon with a gallon of reducer, that gives me 2 gallons of paint. That should really, sprayable stuff. That should be able to cover the car. And like I said, I got no roof, so I should be good.
Yeah, you should be good. Yeah, you should be good. No, that's how much it took. I mean, that's how much it took. So what I'll probably do, and I know we're talking about, that's got my nose itching now. What I'll probably do, because I have 3 quarts now of a new mix, a new batch, and I know this is risky. I know I probably should not do this. I'm going to take what's left in that can and dump it into the new can. I'm going to mix it. I'll probably mix it together just to have an all one, Now, granted, like you're saying, is there a difference? Is it going to show up?
Well, if you mix what's left into your new can, then what you create will be consistent, right? It'll, regardless of the color, it'll be consistent.
Right. Because
the concern would be if you ever have to go get some more, it'll never be matched again, ever.
Right.
Ever. Yeah.
But odds are it will not match anyway. It wouldn't match anyway. I mean, honestly, it'd be very unlikely that it would match. So rather than have, that much sitting around in the can, I'll mix it into my other can and keep it all together and go from there.
Yeah.
Because there were some other things. I had some ideas just because, you're looking for stuff like wall art and stuff to put on the walls. I still have the tail panel from the car that I cut off. I have the old taillights from the car. And I thought about just cleaning up that tail panel, painting it this color back to the same color, which it already is, but cleaning up all the jagged edges, putting the lights in it, and then, hanging on the wall somewhere. It may or may not happen, but, the little bit of extra paint may go to that.
Oh, that's a good idea. I don't know what I've done with half of the stuff I've cut off in this car, to be honest with you.
But I mean, it just makes some good, interesting wall art,
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I had in mind. Oh, stuff's making me want to sneeze.
Oh, I guess you got the pollen coming in down there.
Well, I think it's the fumes from that can that got me mostly.
Oh crap! Oh, geez.
Yeah, but if you look at in some of my videos, you'll see on my back wall, like I have a hood from a '69 Camaro up on my wall. That's the actual hood from a '69 Camaro that I had, and so kind of neat to put some sheet metal up there on the wall, for decoration.
But yeah, no. So like I said, we're in good shape. Like I said, I went out and got the 320 for my DA. So I'm going to do what you would recommend it. I'm going to use the DA just to get this, get this flat, because this is primer now. It's really thick primer. So just to knock the tops off.
Right.
And then come back with the 400 wet. And then I'm going to do 400 wet on everything. I'll get the all thread so I can stand off the extensions, the fender extension. But then, I guess I'm about a week or two away from thinking of putting some paint on this car.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to updates.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm just trying to think if there was anything new that I did. Obviously the seat's in it now. I don't know if you guys can see while I walk it back. So, I just have the seats in. Here, let me bring you in. I'm going mobile, so hope it doesn't get too jittery for you guys. But as you can see, put the shifter in, the steering wheel. Oh, so I bought a new steering wheel. I couldn't stand doing with that one anymore. So I went with one of these. Okay. So yeah, it's just, one of the funniest things that I ran into with this car. And here, let me take you a walk around. So sorry again for all the stuttering.
Is that steering wheel have 6 mount lugs or 8?
That one has, well, it came with everything I need. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that 9? Hold on.
Oh, maybe it is 9. It could be 9.
It's 9.
Yeah. Okay.
But here's the biggest problem I have with this car is this is a 16-inch steering wheel.
Yep.
And you can see my leg. If I try to slide my leg across, it hits. Well, so that's why. So the new one I bought is 14 inches, which means it's 1 inch smaller in diameter. Correct. So it'll be a lot easier to get in and out of the car with it. But, also what I did is I made some changes down in here, and that allows me to tuck this up a bit more. So this actually lifts the steering wheel.
Okay.
About 1 inch. So that gave me a little extra room in here as well for my leg. But like I said, smaller steering wheel, tuck that up. Shifter's in great position. That was the other thing that I was worried about, would the shifter actually be in the right position for me? But the T5 bolted right in, and then the shifter's right here. So this is perfect. But like I said, so as far as the car, it's mechanically ready. It's just a few minor things left to do, and that'll be it.
Well, you were talking about I don't know if you saw, did you see my last live stream on Thursday?
Yeah, I was here.
Okay. Because if we're gonna show off steering wheels, I got to show off mine again, because I really like this. This only has six mount.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's leather wrapped and, low profile. I believe it is 14 inch as well. I think that's what it says on it somewhere. But
well, the power steering works beautifully on this car. I don't need a 16-inch steering wheel. I'm assuming.
Actually, this is 15. This is 15.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, with power steering, you don't need it.
No. I rebuilt the rack and I rebuilt everything, and it works beautifully. You start this car up and I can turn the wheel with a finger. So, basically, I don't need to put a 16-inch wheel. I'm assuming the 16-inch wheels were for when, you had the manual steering, I guess.
Possibly. I know my car was originally a manual steering car.
Oh, that's right. You converted.
The where did I put it? I don't even know where I put that steering wheel now. I got a pile of stuff.
What, the original?
Oh, it's in the car. Never mind. It's in the car because I had to drive it, get it in the paint booth. So it has a steering wheel on it. Uh-oh. Wally faded out on us. There he is.
I hit the wrong button.
Okay, there you are.
Working off of a phone is difficult, best of times.
It is. It is.
Like when I record everything and I can edit it all, it's a lot different than, running a.
Hey,
running
by the way, I mean, I'm still liking what you're doing. Some great stuff. Your video stuff is really good. I like it. I like it
from the best.
Well, I don't know about that, but we can all do stuff. But some people that have tried to make videos and they don't have it. They just don't have the feel for it. But you're natural at it, so I really appreciate what you're putting out there.
Well, like I said, if there's anything anybody needs help on, like I said, so this was a 289 C4 automatic car, and I converted it to it says 302 on the sticker. I showed your audience the engine. It's still a 289, which means it's still a 302 block with a 289 rotating crank, but
okay.
All the rest of it is, it's been bored out and everything, so it's pretty well almost 302.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you have any questions on what parts I needed to do to convert it, what bell housings you need, what clutch you need, everything works beautifully. I mean, the clutch, and that's another thing, the aftermarket clutch that you buy nowadays. My brother's got a 1969 428 Fairlane Cobra.
Wow.
And his clutch, I tell you, if you're sitting at a traffic light holding his clutch in, if that light takes too long to change, the legs start shaking. It's so hard to hold that clutch in. But with all of the proper springs in, because that's the key, right? There's that helper spring, and then there's a secondary spring, and there's a spring on the Z bar, and then there's a spring between the Z bar and the throw up fork. If you don't have all those springs in, it's hard. But this one now, it's nice and easy. The clutch goes in nice and easy. But I'm assuming that's also the modern clutch I have in it as well, right? It's got the diaphragm with the 10 or 15, not the 3. The old clutches had 3 on them, 3 throw arms.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to use. So like I said, if anybody's looking at that, just let me know and I can send you all the parts list on it. But,
that would be great.
But yeah, that's probably it as far as, if I can help anybody on that, or I just had the engine rebuilt from a guy up here in Toronto. So if anybody's looking for an engine builder, I used to get my engines all done, place called Active Engines, which is in Mississauga. Some of our Canadians up here will know where that is. But unfortunately, he had a twin brother, and his brother had passed away and in a snowmobile accident. And the other brother just couldn't do it anymore. He just couldn't do it, and they shut the business down. So I had to try to find another engine builder that you can trust. Somebody who's not going to screw up your engine. So, anyways, I think these guys did a great job. I mean, the thing runs great, but again, we won't know until I get the car really out the road.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I know you're planning on doing some sort of world tour with that, aren't you?
This is going to be. You had mentioned something about rain. Well, I hate to say it. This one's going to get rain, and she's going to be driven in the snow. I mean, my wife and I live in Canada. We've driven our motorcycles down to the US. We've done Daytona, we've done Sturgis and all of that on the bikes. Well, and Death Valley, we want to do that in the car now because, hate to say it, as I get older, the bike, 8 hours on a motorcycle nowadays, it is a lot harder than it used to be when I was a younger guy.
Sure.
So that's what this is going to do. So, there might be a January day where there may not be snow on the ground, but it's cold and crappy, and we'll start this up and start heading south. So it will get crap on it. So I'm expecting it to get things and nicks and knocks, and and it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see me doing any kind of big tours in this Mustang. And I think I've related this enough that I get the bulk of my satisfaction out of the process of building the cars, getting them together, fixing, repairing. That's where I get the bulk of my satisfaction. If I get to enjoy it for, drive it, okay, that's fine. But, you know, like the Model A, I have countless hours and love in that car, and I drive it occasionally. You know, it goes out every few months, goes out for a drive, and that's it. You know, now I hope to get more usage out of the Mustang, um, but I don't know how drivers are in Canada. But I know there's some pretty crazy drivers where I live, and that makes me nervous.
Well, so I got my seat belts in, so that'll be another video I'll do. So I got 3-point seat belts. They bolt onto the where the B pillar would normally be on a coupe, right, where it comes into the body line just behind the door, right? So you got the where the door closes onto the rear quarter. There's a flange there that's actually made for it. You have to drill that out, and that's where your shoulder belt will lock into the body.
It sounds like the same ones I put in the Brooklyn Pony.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes. My apologies. Yes.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It sounds like the same system, same setup.
And then, of course, as everybody knows, I put the headrests on the seats because that was another concern of mine. I mean, because if you get rear-ended, you know, your head's gone. And of course, if I hit something, I wanted to make sure I had a shoulder belt. And then, of course, now I have the cameras, so I get the front-facing, the rear-facing cameras. I hope nothing happens, but if something does, at least it's.
Well, I know that I've discovered recently that the seats that I have for the 68 are not the right seats. They're actually 65 or 6 seats. And I never really looked at them. I just, you know, they came with the car, and I just put them aside all this time. And, you know, I have that other car, the other coupe that I picked up. And I was looking at that going, wait a minute, there's a little lever there on the side of the seat.
Yeah.
My seats for Jade, I don't have that. It's the 65 or 6 seat. So
my friend, if the borders were open, I'd throw them in the back of the pickup truck and drive them down. Because remember, these seats have nothing to do with the originals, right? These seats,
I know,
and everything are off of the Lincoln MKX. So I've got a full set of, you know, front seats. They're black even.
Oh wow, yeah, that would be perfect. Well, for now, I'm just going to use what I have. I mean, it's just, you know, and I might look at something later, maybe a more modern seat. I don't know yet, but I may consider that later. But for now, I'm just going to put in what I have and just go with it, you know.
Yeah, I've run into the same thing. And again, this is memory, right? I had that 68 when I was 18 years old, which is 45 years ago. And I thought the interior was like a lighter blue, but everything I look at, if I go on CJ Pony or I go on, you know, everybody's site, none of the panels come in a light blue. They all come in a dark blue. So, you know, I'm going to put it together with the dark blue because that's all I can get. But I'm going to have to figure it out just like you. You know, I'll put it together. But there's something in my mind that reminds me that that car had a light blue interior, had a light blue carpeting. The seats were this
two-tone.
They call it this aqua turquoise or you know, like this lighter blue with the darker blue. But the panels were light blue. The dash was light blue. The knee pad was light blue. And I can't find those pieces, so I have no idea. Light blue doesn't exist anymore.
I wonder, you know, was it new or do you buy it used?
Oh, used. I had 5 cents to my name, and 2 of those I was buying Mojos with. So not a lot of money when I was young.
I'm wondering if somebody didn't color dye the interior.
I never thought of that. So actually, I just went to a local Mustang depot, which is in Windsor, Ontario, and I just pinged them, and they got a couple of rattle cans of the light blue metallic interior dye and light blue metallic interior paint, right? So that'll be, the paint will be for the dash, right? Or for the metal. And the light blue dye, I'm hoping maybe I might dye the interior and see what happens.
Yeah, that might work. That might work.
Yeah, but like I said, but that's months away, as I said, you know, hopefully next couple of weeks paint, and then assembling it and hoping I can remember how to put the roof back on this car. Because you know, that's 18 months ago I pulled the soft top off of this thing, and how it stitches in and how all the trim goes on, that is a memory that is long gone.
Yep. That's why you take pictures and videos.
Well, yeah. Well, that's good for our viewers today and everybody who's thinking of doing one of these. Do it. I mean, it's metal, right? And if you make a mistake, you just hammer it out and fix it and do it again.
Yep.
But take pictures because there's a lot of stuff. I bagged everything and tagged it, but how does it bolt in? It says so. I got a bag that says rear deck lid bolts for the roof. Okay, all right. Now at least I know the bolts are for what, but how did they screw in? Did they go in? Are they threaded?
Yep.
Do I gotta clean everything out? I have no idea.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to take too much of your night. I don't know if there was any questions in the galley for me, but if not, I can let you have the last few minutes with the team.
There's been a lot of comments in the meantime, but I don't see any specific. So
okay. Well, as I said, if there's any specific questions, just reach out. You can leave me.
Yeah. And again, if anybody who hasn't already seen him, look up Wally's channel, 68 Mustang Restoration, and check out his videos. He's got good stuff on there. So.
But that's about it. I've got nothing else going on. It's like I said, getting parts up here is a little slow, but other than that, I'm hoping. You just got me so nervous now on the paint. But what's the worst? The worst thing that can happen is that I can't paint and I just don't get it painted. Right.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. As I said before, I show my mistakes. If I make a mistake, I want people to learn from it. So now that you've seen that, now that you can, let me think about this, right? Let me think about this process. That alone is worth it for me right now because of my failure. It's going to help you with your paint job. So, I mean, be cautious, be anxious, but don't be nervous. Just think about it. Okay, I can do this. I've done it. You sprayed that jet ski and I know it looked great, but I'm just saying, it's just that process blown up a little bit. That's all.
Yeah. Well, like I said, consistency, try to be consistent, try to keep that hand straight across the paint. And again, you're right. It's going to be one of those things that once the boot's on, and as I got the full suit coming and I got the full face respirator coming because I saw when you painted that clear and that room just obliterated. You couldn't see you anymore because of the hanging in the air. I thought, hey, I'm not walking through that, so I got to wait for that to arrive as well, and then
sure,
then I'll be painting.
Okay.
Well, everyone, like I said, it's great, having this time with you guys, and any questions, let me know. And Barry, as always, thank you so much for everything you do for everybody, and I'll let you guys go.
All right, we'll see you later. Good having you.
All right, have a good night.
All right, you too. Okay. Well, it's nice to hear from Wally and see what he's doing and what he's working on and how the progress is going through. So that's really good. Really good. Let's see. Let me back up a little bit, see where I can, who's here and who's not here, or where we've gone. So, hold on. Okay. David Outdoors checked in on us. I don't know if he's still here or not. Caden says, whoa, another Dave. Nick, from where I can't get Barry to give, somewhere there's a toddler painted Gulfstream Aqua because he let it in the paint booth and messed up his paint jobs, and now his confidence is shot. What? A toddler painted Gulfstream Aqua. Chris, wish I could get the Firebird formula painted for $3,000. Yeah, good luck with that. Honestly, it'll be tough to get that. Nick, typing with my fingers again, so now my grammar is out the window. Clark, SOS is awesome. Needs runny eggs, cocoa beverage powder. Just chuck it. It's a diuretic. Okay. Caden, you never did tell. How did you weld your hands to the car, Nick? Oh, yeah. There we go. So we're going to move on down, get through some of these. Caden Weichel, Twinkies are the best. Y'all cross the line by deep frying them. Hit the like button. Yes, by all means, hit the like button. Thank you. Nick, doing a fantastic job with that, Wally. I wish I had more time to work on mine like I thought I would. Yep. Time. That's the hardest part. Let's see. So Nick's working on his car, shaving drip rails. All right. So Caden is checking out on us. Shane, everyone should paint their muscle cars with a roller and paint tray, no pesky air hose in the way, and forget those masks, said no one. Yeah, exactly. Chris, I want to do body work for a living. Barry, any tips? Practice. Practice, practice, practice. Find somebody who's been doing it a long time and ask them if you can just watch. See how they do it. Danny, I would think about spraying the side and do a soft edge at the body line. Done that many times over the years. Yeah, I would. I mean, I get that. I would have considered that, but I'm more stressed over the idea that the hood and the deck lid and nothing's going to match when I'm done. So I'm just going to be done with it. Do it all. Mason, hey, Jay Daddy, how's it going? Hope it's cool in the shop. For you, it's 100 and hot here. Yeah, I've got the AC running right now. Feels very nice in here. Shane, a body man once told me being a body man is like being a good doctor. You need a ton of patience. I get it. Play on words. Patience. Got it. Dave, my buddy, tapes right down to the floor of the booth. Yep, I did that when I sprayed the last time. Man, I've got any more anxious the more I hear you talk about these little nuances to painting. I hope I do good. I've been pouring a lot of heart into this hunk of junk. You can do it, Nick. Get one of the, spend the money on a good brush. Get the really good brushes. Don't buy those little cheap ones. Get the really good $high horsehair brushes. It'll come out much better. Nick, this is a fantastic conversation. Thank you, Nick. Shane says, same here, Nick. I'm no painter, but I will paint when it's ready. Good. That is good. Jessica, also put bolts in any holes that paint may get in, or you have to chase all the holes. That's a good. Whoops. Good call, Jessica. Robert, hey, Joe, what's your thoughts about regarding roll-on primer? You know, I've heard really good things about what Eastwood offers, their kit. I actually have heard really good things on it. I have not tried it. I'm not against it by any means. You know, if it keeps you from having to put on a mask, have air hoses and all the stuff involved with spraying it, it's probably a good thing, because then you're going to be block sanding it anyway to get it down. But I've heard good things. That's about all I can say. Jerry, you might consider a premix base with a reducer. I don't know if PBG sells this, but Ascon Noble does, and it solves the mix issue per cup. So premix base with the reducer. Okay. Nick, I still want to get some old gas station signs or something to hang in my garage. Well, if you're, go at night when nobody's around, you probably get some at the local Exxon or. I got lucky. I have a Texaco sign in the back that somebody had in a yard sale, and they were selling the thing. The half or it's half of a light up one, But I it's a hard time. I've been looking for authentic steel signs and stuff, but they want so much money for those things. Nick, I have a similar wheel to yours, Barry, except it's brushed black anodized. Okay, cool. I like it a lot. Jerry, modern driveline offers all parts to convert a T5 transmission from a 3-speed or automatic. So there you go. Thank you, Jerry. Don with Betsy checking in. Glad you're here. Crash Rider Wally is great without a doubt. Mr. Wizard and Mr. Rogers rolled into one. That is a great response, Crash Rider. I like that. Gary says, Wally, what color are you painting it? I believe he's painting it Acapulco blue. I believe is the color he's going with. Nick, yes, a nice textured horsehair paint job. It will be the best. Well, with a little, they say that, I think they've said, you get better miles per gallon if you have a little, you ripple the airflow. If it's too smooth, it can just, create a bit of a drag. But if you have some texture, I think it actually breaks it a little bit, and it'll help you with gas mileage too. So you can get, 11 miles to the gallon. Common Man, is that 10th Mountain in the background? Yes, it is. Thank you for noticing. Yep. I served in 10th Mountain Division, 85 to 88 when they activated. 30 some years ago. I was in the first full battalion, 2nd Battalion, 14th Infantry Regiment. That's why I can't hear out of this ear. That's why I have arthritis in my ankle. Let's see. Jessica says, sorry, there's an AMG out back. I had to start and run my El Camino to scare it. Take care, all. Okay. We'll see you, Jessica. Wally, yes, Acapulco Blue. That's what I thought. Love that color. Love it. Although I will say Gulfstream Aqua is maybe more of my favorite color now. I really just love that thing. Love that color. It's not blue. Remind you, it's not blue. Nick, the bodywork will take care of the ripples, Barry. Okay. Common Man says, outstanding. Hua, yes. Yes. That was a long time ago. All the fun stuff. Jumping out of planes, jumping out of helicopters. All those great things you do when you're 20. And then when you're mid-50s, your ankle doesn't work anymore. But it was a good time. I loved it. I loved doing it. Nick says, Mothra just flew by you, by the way. Maybe I could, I don't know if Nick, were you here when I showed you this light? Did I show you this? Wally, did you see this? I don't know who all saw this. I'm going to bring this up again because, people may have come and gone. Had I had this light whenever I was spraying the car, I probably wouldn't be here with the problems that I'm having right now. I've mentioned it before, and I'm going to mention it again because body shops will use a sun gun, right? A sun gun is very bright and very expensive, made by 3M, $500-$600 for a sun gun. I cannot justify having a sun gun. This thing is sold at Harbor Freight. It's Braun. And this thing is like turbo bright. 455 lumens. And you can check color. Look at this. Watch this. That is really, really bright. So Wally, if you haven't already, find one of these. $39.99 is what this cost at Harbor Freight. And, when I go in the paint booth and I turn off all the LED lights and I walk in with this thing, I can see color changes in that door. I can see it. So this is going to be my new little friend. My new little friend. I don't even know if, Wally, I don't know if that's on Amazon, but if it is, by all means, I should look it up and make sure it's on my list of products that I endorse. So, Mason, one of my buddies took me for a ride in their 70 Ford Mustang, and it's loud, long tube headers, and Flowmaster Super 10. Cool. Shane, I have a J code for paint. That's Rangoon Red. I might go single stage to make it easier. Well, nothing wrong with that. In fact, Winged Warrior, he just buffed out his car. It looked fantastic. I don't know where he's at, but he sent me some pictures of it. It was beautiful. Let's see. Mason, it's very loud. My buddy said 74 Mustang. He's got a 302 in it and a 3-speed manual. Cool. Armando, do you have any tips with aligning the fender to the fender? Wait. Aligning the fender to the fender end caps. Sorry, my nose is running now because I've dust or something. I have original fenders and caps, but from different cars, but I seem to be having a gap on the top. Thanks. That's not uncommon. What I've done in the past, I've made videos on it. I have actually used filler get the You're talking about like the headlight bucket, I'm assuming. So the headlight assembly extension, I bolt it on and I get it in the best position I possibly can, get it as accurate as I can. And then I've taken body filler and, scuffed everything up real good and gone over that panel and then block sanded it to where there's just, I can see the material coming out, like it's starting to show the extension or the fender, is a high spot. And I'll dress it to where everything matches like that. And then I break it loose. I'll take the bolts loose and I'll tap it with a mallet just to give it a little shake, a little jar, and crack the filler basically. And then I've gone back and retreated the edges where that filler was to smooth that transition on both pieces if I have to. Normally you'll have to do one side. And then it matches. But that's about the only real advice I can give you on that. Otherwise, if it's a 65 or 6 model and you're talking about the extensions, again, I did a video on that on the Brooklyn Pony because I had aftermarket fenders, aftermarket extensions, and they didn't match at all. And I actually cut loose the fender and reshaped it slightly to make it fit the extension because the extensions are pot metal. Not much you can do with those. But the fenders, steel, you can modify and kind of move things. So I have videos on this, on both the 68 and the 66. Denny Albie, a little orange pill is similar to a golf ball. It helps the car go straight. Okay. I'll give you a bell for that. Nick did not see it. Well, you saw it now. It is really bright. It is a bright light. Rick, I never saw a reason to jump out of a perfectly good aircraft. Well, I get that. But let me tell you, it's a thrill. It is a thrill jumping out of planes. Chris, Barry, what do you think about the 400 Ford block found one in the junkyard? I don't have a good answer on that. I know that, I don't keep up with the 400s, so I don't have a good answer for that. Jessica, it worked. It worked? Okay. Well, he says on Amazon. Okay. Mason, wanted to ask you, do you have any like automotive stickers you can send me or no? I don't have any automotive stickers. I think I've already sent you a sticker, Mason. I'm pretty sure I sent you a license plate, right? Didn't I send you a license plate and a Joe Daddy sticker in there? Pretty sure I did. Andy, if you're not going to jump on it too often, do you think swapping up to a 9-inch is necessary? I don't. Picture these cars. Now, granted, it depends on what you're putting in it too. If you're putting in some high horsepower engine, maybe that should be a consideration. But these cars, they came with the 8-inch with buying a V8, and they drove for years and years and years and years and years and years, and never really had any problems with them. Now, if you're putting in, you're going to be, putting in 400 horsepower and stomping on it, maybe it should be a consideration. But if you're just driving the car and enjoying it, I don't see it's that necessary to get into a Ford 9-inch. Just my opinion. Nick, the stock 8-inch probably built and not running slicks is very stout. Not really a reason to upgrade unless it's very warmed over stick car with slicks. See, there you go. However, I will say this. If you're getting rid of an 8-inch, if you have an 8-inch you want to part with, I need one, or I could use one. Let's put it that way. If I had for this other 68, I could use an 8-inch rear end for a 68 Mustang. Just put it that way. Shane, another great stream, Barry. See you all later. Yes. I'm glad you were here. Okay. That's, again, things are going okay. I've been busy prepping the car again, repaint. Chris, 9-inch to me is for 351 Cleveland to 429, 8-inch 351 Windsor down to inline 6. Okay, that makes sense. Nick, I have 2. Figure out how to get them to you. Both from a 68. Well, where do you live, Nick? Gary, mine is going to be Farmer Paint Job Brittany Blue. That's okay. The Brittany Blue, I think that's what I painted the 65. I did years ago. Is that really light baby blue? I think, right? Brittany Blue, isn't that the really light baby blue? Common Man, got a 68 Mustang that I'm just starting on. It's a coupe, thinking of turning into a fastback for an Eleanor build. What are your thoughts? I'm not against the fastback. I like the idea of doing the conversion. I'm not a fan of the e-car, personally. Just me. Just not a fan of it. I mean, I know people like it. It's just not my thing. I'm just not a fan of the e-car. But if you like it, fine. Go ahead. But yeah, I mean, I'm considering doing a fastback conversion on a 68 that I have as well. So that might be in the works. Maybe. I don't know when. I've got so many things to do. Nick, basically St. Louis, so I don't know. Yeah, a little out of my path, Nick. Otherwise, I would figure out a way to get to it. But I'll probably find one locally somewhere, or if somebody's putting in a 9-inch. I actually do have another 9-inch that I could use. It's a Curry rear end, but it's narrower. It's for a 65 and 6 model. So it's a little bit narrow, and that's probably okay. It would probably work fine. It'd probably work fine. Dave, Brittany Blue is a nice, soft metallic. Oh, okay. I don't remember what that light blue was that I painted on that 65, but it was the original color. And it was like, super light blue. Like it was, it was kind of like that. Something like that. Nick, the one has brand new brakes on it. They're sitting outside rusting, unfortunately. Yeah, rear ends don't usually rust apart very much. It would take a long time for them to rust away. Chris, 69 Mach 1 Mustang with red with black hood. Best production Mustang period. Or 67 GT 500 blue with white stripes. Okay. I'll go with that. Dawn, don't call it the e-car unless you want to lose it. Yeah, there's a big story behind all that. The e-car. Not a fan. Mason, you did send me a sticker and an old license plate. I just found my old license plate you sent me and the stickers you sent me. Well, see, there you go. See? I knew I did that. Nick, use that Curry. Heck yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a Curry, and I know it's got Willwood set up on it. And I'm debating. I've really been debating because I have a 9-inch in Jade right now. But I had that. It's a 9-inch that came in the car, but it's actually from a 58, like station wagon. It's narrower because it was in the station wagon. And it's fine. But I have actually considered taking the Curry and putting it in Jade with, I've got a limited slip rear end and everything. It's got brand new axles. I probably should just do that, right? I should just pull that old 9-inch back out of Jade, put in the Curry with the limited slip. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is sounding better all the time. Although it has Willwood brake setup on it. At least it has most of it. It's missing one of the calipers, I think. But then I'd have to convert. Do I really want 4-wheel disc brakes? Things to ponder. Clark, Acapulco Blue? No, not Acapulco Blue. Glacier Blue. That sounds more like it or something very close to it. It was very, very light. Very, very light. Bob, what do you think about an 8-inch posi? Would you make an 8-inch Ford rear end into a posi traction rear end? I mean, you could. I don't, you could. They'll hold up. I mean, people, I think what people, we tend to think, the Ford 9-inch is like, it's like the rear end whenever you talk about it. You got a 12-bolt Chevy and a 10-bolt Chevy and a this, that, and the other Ford 8-inch, 9-inch, 8.8. When it comes down to it, probably the rear end to have in any car is the Ford 9-inch. Look at NASCAR. That's all they've ever used is Ford 9-inch in every car. It doesn't matter who made it. The last let's say 30 plus years. But the factory stuff, the 8-inch, it was tough too. It'll hold up. It'll be fine. Clark, was it the same blue as Jade? No. Jade is aqua. Gulfstream aqua. No, the light blue Mustang was I don't even know. It was very light. I did it like 8 years ago. 7 years ago. 7, 8 years ago. I don't even know. It was super light blue. Like almost like robin egg blue. Like almost lighter than robin egg blue. It was very tough to paint because the blue was very close to the primer in color. I mean, it really was. Nick, I was thinking about going bigger in the brakes. I have a 2.5-inch offset Torino big bearing set of Willwoods, maybe an option. Maybe. Rick, 8-inch posies aren't cheap. Well, there's the thing. There's the thing is what do you have to put into it? Tanner, hey Barry, this is Tanner and John from North Carolina. You have helped us with our quarters in the past few months, and thank you so much. We are spraying our second round of filler primer and close to base coat. Okay, yeah, I remember you. Diamond blue is the color of my car. Was that color from the factory? Okay. Yeah, I don't remember honestly. That may be the right color, diamond blue. I don't know. I haven't. Somebody could pull up the paint codes and probably look at it. Edward is asking, what's the name of the light for the paint gun? It is Gunbudd. Gunbudd, Gunbudd. That's the one. Are you talking about the light you add? You clip on. It's like a headlamp. So basically, if this was inverted, you would because of my PPS cups, this would be upside down. But you can put it on and use it to light up stuff. If that's what you're referring to, I'm assuming it's what you're referring to. Jerry, thumbs up. Something. Thank you. Leonard, almost late to the show. How's everyone doing? I'm glad you're here, Leonard. Glad you're here. Because it's about to end. I hate to say that. Chris, nothing is cheap in this hobby. Been looking for a 70 Cougar for an Eliminator tribute, and Mercury is ridiculous. Yep. Nick, I'm hopping off for. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for being you, Barry. What a guy. Same to you, Nick. Glad you were here. Really appreciate your input. And I assume I answered Ed's question. What is the name of the light for the spray gun? And that was the Gunbudd. Again, this thing, I'm going to show it one more time because this is so important. This Sun Gun, knockoff, because like I said, the 3M one, $500, $600. This one from Harbor Freight, $39.99. Look at this. Look at that. 455 lumens. Just so you know, if you're doing some paint work, buy one of these cheap things, and you can see if there's any flaws. Okay? I will be using that thing. All right. Thumbs up from Leonard. Jorge is checking in. A lot late, because I'm about to end. Arcadian blue. That's it. Arcadian blue. Yeah. Very, very light, isn't it? Very light blue. Tough to paint. Rick, I hope everyone has a good evening, a good weekend. Yes, thank you. We'll be traveling. I will say that. We'll be traveling. Gary, it's like sky blue. I'm second under, so I thought I'd keep it stock. Yep. Chris, how do you get your dream garage? I see you putting so much energy in the car. I'm still planning on 6 more. I built the shop in 96. I built the shop in 96, and at the time I took out a second mortgage or a refinanced to add this on. So just saying, get you a house, invest in it, and try to keep keep making payments. Rick, I'm going to get one of those lights from Harbor Freight to take me with me when I pick up my car from the body shop to make sure they match the color properly. Good call. That'll freak him out. Yeah, that'll freak him out. All right. Clark, what do you want from SOS? I don't know what that means. All right, I'm going to call tonight. Sorry, Jorge. Glad you were here anyway. But if you haven't already known, I'm repainting the whole car, repainting Jade, starting over. I've been prepping it the last couple of days, and so hopefully I get it resprayed this week. It's got to be right, or I'm not doing it. So anyway, that's going to be it. Glad you all were here. Debatable whether I'll be here on Thursday. Just saying, if I post, a notice, I'll be available. If I don't, well then, not going to happen. Otherwise, I hope to be here Monday. It is a holiday weekend, but I like to be here, and I'm going to try. But if I can't, well then, we'll have to do it again in 2 weeks. But anyway, thank you all for being here. We'll catch up with you soon, and I have another video I'm going to post if I can get it edited, where I took body filler or spot putty to knock out the runs that I had on the quarter panel. So I may try to post that as well. But that's going to be it, and we'll see you. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.